It's recording. It's actually recording. I can see it recording, and the numbers are actually moving.
Everything's recording?
Everything's actually recording.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team.
That movie did not make this list.
Welcome to Pop Culture Roulette for all your pop culture needs. We're America's spookiest podcast.
We don't do that theme anymore, remember?
No, because I don't listen. Yes, I remember.
All right, so this is day 28. We're on definitely the home stretch. We haven't missed a day yet. We hope you've enjoyed the 27 previous days of content. We've had some pretty good stuff. We got a couple days yet of some pretty fun content yet coming. But this is a topic that we've definitely talked about in past years. It's definitely a super fun topic to do for an audio podcast. So we're gonna have to set the mood here. All right. So you're at Spirit Halloween, or you're at Target or Walmart or wherever you're at, and you're looking at the Halloween costumes. You're trying to make a decision. We're going to help you decide what not to wear. These are some of the most ridiculous, the stupid. I've left off, for the most part, the downright offensive. Like the ones that you should be smart enough to know not to wear blackface or Nazi or Holocaust survivor. Stuff like that. Like at this point, if you wear that, you deserve whatever bad thing happens to you. These are the ones that are still somewhat kind of up in the air.
All right.
You guys might disagree. I asked a fair amount of people online and some people at work just to get some ideas of ridiculous costumes. So this is just kind of a group effort.
Cool.
So I put in the 32 entries into the old bracket maker HQ, and I hit random 13 times.
Ooh, spooky.
So it gave us for our first matchup. Now we're gonna. Some of them might have a little description. Some of them are gonna be pretty obvious. This is a combination. The first one is condom, and it's going up against pun-based costumes.
Ooh.
We're doing which is worse?
Well, this is all right. We're trying to decide which is the most ridiculous costume.
Okay.
So the pun-based being the list that I kind of sent you guys earlier. It's just a bunch of I don't even have good examples right now.
Like one night stand.
Like when a couple has a reverse card and a cowgirl.
Yes. Yeah.
Or big fan, number one fan. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Some of these might appear later on the list as separate items.
Okay.
Because you have to kind of stretch it. You got to pull that taffy. But
okay.
But yeah. So what are we thinking? What's more ridiculous, being a condom, or having a pun-based costume that you might have to explain, or just people rolling their eyes because they get it and they think you're kind of stupid?
I'm a big fan of puns, though. So the pun-based costume to me is always a classic.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if you have to explain it, or if it's a couple one, I'm fine with them. I like puns. I'm a punny guy. I think condoms are a worse costume.
Okay.
More ridiculous.
All right,
is that how I'm doing this?
So
I still don't understand.
No, I think you got it.
I think that's how we're doing it. Yes. All right. So.
I would have to agree with Justin.
All right. So yes, the condom is probably the worst or more ridiculous costume in this instance.
I mean, what is it? It's just a guy in a giant condom.
I was thinking,
or the big wrapper.
Okay.
or the big or Naked Gun 2 or Naked Gun 22 and a third or whatever.
22 and a half.
Yeah,
It's 33 and a third.
Yeah, the scene from there where they both put like the full body condoms on.
Yeah.
That's kind of what. All right.
How do you trick or treat in that though? You got no arms. If you poke holes in it, it's ineffective.
I don't know. Okay. So the next one is the plug-in outlet couple costume, or the skelebaner, the skeleton with the extra appendage bone costume. I know we've talked about that one in the past.
My friend actually one year he went as the Grim Creeper and he was in a Grim Reaper outfit and he just had a boner. So I appreciate that extra appendage outfit, but it is absolutely ridiculous.
But is it more ridiculous than a couple going as a plug in an outlet?
Yes, I think so. Personally, I think the skeleton is more ridiculous.
I didn't understand that.
So that's creepy. So the skeleton. Let me get this straight. The skeleton would move on if it gets more votes.
Yes,
because it's more ridiculous.
It's more ridiculous. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to vote for the skeleton as being more ridiculous than the plug-in.
I'd have to agree.
Okay.
Like for couples costumes, just to get someone to be like, yeah, let's both do this. There's a little more like, oh, they're trying.
Okay. All right.
Better than just the skeleton.
Skelebaner it is. Skelebaner
That's ridiculous.
Is more ridiculous. Okay. Okay.
What do you think about that?
You know what? I don't necessarily like the idea of couples costumes. I think the plug and outlet one is one of the dumber options, but I think the skelebaner is a little bit more ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you show up to a Halloween party wearing the plug and outlet costume, I'm probably going to make fun of you. But not near as much as I'm going to make fun of the guy who shows up as the skeleton.
Yeah.
All right, so the next matchup, we've got the not a costume guy. The guy who comes to the Halloween party wearing a shirt that just says not a costume.
Mm-hmm.
Or the age inappropriate costumes. So a small child dressed in, like, say, a hooker outfit, or a very grown adult woman wearing a Girl Scout outfit, or those kinds of outfits that you should not be wearing at the particular age that you're wearing.
Okay.
What do you think on this one there, Nicholas?
I feel like going out and buying a shirt or making a shirt that says not a costume takes more effort than just showing up to the Halloween party. Like just going, yeah, I didn't wear a costume, and just moving on. So I feel like that's almost more ridiculous. The age inappropriate costumes are, and there's going to be a lot of other opportunities to vote for some other really even dumber things. But I think the not a costume guy is more of a dick.
Yeah, I would probably agree. Especially if you're going out of your way to buy a shirt that says not a costume.
Yeah, when you put it that way, it is like, dude, you put the effort in already. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you put the effort to go to the store to buy the shirt.
Yeah.
Go just bought a costume while you're there. Buy a onesie.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, so our next matchup is going to be dressing up as a disease or a vaccine.
All right.
Or this one, I'm going to have to describe this one, so get your imaginations out.
Okay.
Mine's broken.
Dressing up as the breathalyzer, but you've got the tube
I saw one of those this year.
in a particular area.
Mm-hmm.
So what's more ridiculous, dressing up like a disease or a vaccine, depending on what version of it you want to, or dressing up as as the breathalyzer, where the tube is in the crotchular region?
I saw that one this year at a Halloween party.
Okay.
I still think dressing up as a disease is more ridiculous. Like, I'm just picturing, what is it, like Rick and Morty, where they're in the body with the amoebas.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of what I'm picturing for a disease, but I'm like, yeah, that seems, like, you don't know what it looks like. You just threw a bunch of squiggly things on and went, I'm this. I think that's more ridiculous.
I think if I saw someone dressed as a disease, I'd be like impressed. Like, because most of the time you probably would have had to do like some sort of a custom job in order to pull it off. I don't think there's very many available. I'm sure I'm wrong. There's probably some out there, but most of the time I would think you'd have to do some sort of homemade foam and custom job, and then it's like, holy crap, like I might not know what you are, but if you especially if you busted out like an old disease that we haven't heard of in a while, I'd be like, wow, that's pretty clever. It's weird but clever. But like the breathalyzer guy, it's like, let me guess, this guy at the party, it was a guy you exactly would expect to do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like just his identity is like, I'm the crazy zany, I would put this right by my dick.
And I believe that with the breathalyzer, the whatever the thing is that you blow is like 69.69.
Of course.
Yeah. So you're going
I'm gonna vote for breathalyzer.
I think I'm gonna go breathalyzer as well. Although I think the disease / vaccine gets almost to that line of like, maybe you should be smart enough to not wear this, depending on the year. You know.
Yeah, true.
All right, so breathalyzer moves on. All right, now we're gonna get into the downright creepy versus this one. All right, downright creepy, the adult baby.
Ugh, okay.
And then, as I was saying, I talked to a bunch of people. I put the poll out there in a few different Facebook groups, and somebody just said JoJo Siwa.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, do you want to dress as a ridiculous human,
or a ridiculous human,
or as an adult baby?
Which version of JoJo?
I just believe they were nominating her in general.
Okay, because she got that goth phase going now.
Right, yeah. I mean, the phase that she was on when she was on that game show that I was on, now granted I wasn't in the room for her, was the candy pop, and that's every bit as ridiculous.
True, yeah.
But yeah, it's just the whole JoJo Siwa thing is ridiculous. But adult baby is just, ugh.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's just someone that has a fetish that is like, I'm just dressing up for Halloween. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, nothing weird about this. But really deep down, they're like getting off to it. They're like, yeah, I'm an adult baby. Give me that candy.
They probably already own the diaper. And
yeah, right. So I'm gonna vote for that one. It's fucking demented.
yeah, adult baby.
All right, baby it is. All right. This one I didn't really understand. And I don't know how this one got put up against what it got put up against.
Because the randomizer.
The randomizer chose to put shish kebab, which was one that somebody recommended, just dressing up like a shish kebab, or food.
Oh.
Like I saw a lot of like sushi or fried chicken or eggs or just like dressing up like an item of food. Sometimes using real food, sometimes just dressing like food. So kind of strange to put these two against each other because it kind of feels like we're voting.
Yeah, it's like irrelevant which one wins.
Whoever wins, we lose. Food versus food.
Food versus a shish kebab.
So is it more ridiculous to dress up like random food or the shish kebab in general?
Well, the shish kebab is so specific. Like random food, sure, you could dress up. Like, you might have to put some work into creating a costume, like if you make a big donut or something. But I don't know which one's more ridiculous. I'd probably go with shish kebab just because it's specific.
Okay.
Where random foods, it could be anything.
Well, I'll go with random food then, just because you can just pull from anything, and that's like ridiculous then. I mean, and the use of real food, like...
Yeah, if it's real food, don't do that.
That's gross.
Yeah. All right, so
Like, what if it's like a big blow up pumpkin? Does that count because it's food?
I guess it's however you choose to vote for it this round, and we'll worry about it again when it goes up against what it's going up against next round. All right, so I guess random.
I might go random food
Okay,
if you're using, especially if you're using real food.
All right,
in your
random
costume.
food.
Don't
All
do
right.
that.
All
Unless it's
right.
like birdseed and you're getting attacked by birds.
Now
That's
we've
part of your
got-
costume.
Now we've got internet memes. So dressing up like a meme, which could be something from 10 years ago that you think is funny and people are like, wait, I don't remember that. Or it could be something that just happened. Anyway, it's just the internet meme or a toilet.
Why would you want to dress up like a toilet?
There's
That's another
way,
fetish thing.
there's
Yeah.
way too many actual toilet costumes that you can buy, and it was horrifying when I was doing the research.
Why is Jimmy always crouching down in the corner of the bathroom? He's just waiting.
Yeah.
I don't know. The toilet's absolutely ridiculous.
Okay.
Like,
That's kind of how I was
Yeah.
going with it as well, yeah. I mean, because the internet meme could be really ridiculous, but it depends on which one.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
how, but the toilet is always just a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna be like a urinal. Gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a small corner of the
All right.
internet right there.
So this one also, we're going to have to put the imagination hats back on. A formal apology. So you're wearing some sort of formal outfit, like a ball gown or a tuxedo.
You can wear a ball gown. I'm not.
Some sort of formal based outfit, something that you would wear to like a black tie event. And you have a sash that just says apology.
That's horrible.
Or zombie dead celebrity.
Ooh.
Oh,
Generally speaking, when you've seen this, it's a celebrity who's died recently. It's never like, I'm going to be zombie Marilyn Monroe. It's more like zombie who just passed away. You're the one who keeps track of this, Justin.
I have not. It got too morbid. James Earl Jones.
Okay, yeah, zombie James Earl Jones. All right, so which one is worse, the formal apology or the zombie dead celebrity?
Well, at least I think the formal apology is it's at least punny. I enjoy a good pun. I think dressing up as a dead celebrity is probably worse, especially if it was something tragic, like if it was Kobe in the helicopter, so you come as like Kobe and you have like a propeller through you or something. I would say that is worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
so dead celeb. All right.
And it's very specific, like you're targeting a certain person.
Right. Yeah. What's the cutoff, though, you think? Like, what?
Right, yeah. How far back do you like? When is it like now?
When can you be Steve Irwin?
Right, yeah.
Mhm.
Like how? Like is it okay for me to be zombie Abraham Lincoln, but not zombie JFK? Or is JFK still far enough away at this point that I can now do that one?
Can JFK be a zombie without a brain?
Good question, but that's a different debate.
I mean, I would say, like, you could definitely still be JFK. My cutoff would be, like, the 70s. 70s and on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what I would say.
Okay. This one is going to start a trend here for the next couple rounds. The sexy, non-sexy professions. So like people trying to dress sexy for professions that are not sexy.
Like the sexy garbage man?
Yes, sexy garbage man.
Sexy custodian. Oh, wait. That is.
That's
sexy.
our lives.
Yeah.
Taking a profession that's generally not considered sexy. That's not to say that people that work in that profession can't be sexy, but like it's not necessarily like when you're like, oh yeah, like the
Look at that guy cleaning those toilets.
yeah, exactly. Or 420 related costumes.
Oh,
So the pot leaf, the joint, the.
does that include Cheech and Chong? Or they?
I think Cheech and Chong would be separate because they're celebrities,
Mm.
and then you get into the whole like, I mean, you could take it too far, but. So what's worse, the sexy non-sexy profession, or the 420 related costumes?
I would probably say the 420 related costumes, because if people want to be sexy, let them be sexy.
Hold on to that thought.
You wish you hadn't said that. This is a tough one because like there's so many horrible sexy non-sexy costumes out there like that should not have even been like brought into like the drawing board. But the 420 ones, it's like it's bad enough you're just trying to make like it part of your identity, and now you're like, "Ooh, look at me, I'm a pot leaf or whatever. I'm this." It's just, oh my god. I'm gonna have to say sexy non-sexy costumes is more ridiculous.
I might have to go the 420 one just because like people who want to do that, they've made their entire personality about it. Like if you want to smoke pot, whatever, who cares? That's neither here nor there. That's not the argument we're having. But there are certain people who take it too far and they've made it their entire personality.
Yeah.
And those people are annoying.
Yeah, definitely.
So what, you voted the 420 as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically the same reason.
All right.
420.
All right. Any political? So I'm thinking more like recent political, like, you know, the people who are currently running versus wearing, say, not a zombie version of JFK or George Washington. Like, you know, I think if we get far enough away, like, you know, 30 to 40 years, it's not really a political costume. It's more just like, look at me. I vaguely look like Thomas Edison. No, Thomas Edison wasn't political. Thomas Jefferson. Or, like, you know, wearing, like, the people who are currently running for office, like, you're just asking for a fight.
Yeah.
Because, you know, half this country hates the other half for no reason other than just a label.
Yeah, you're just trying to trigger someone.
Right.
Yeah. You're going to ruin the Halloween party.
Or the big foot costume. You are dressed as a foot. So, therefore, you are a giant foot.
I
A
like
big foot.
puns.
Bigfoot. It's ridiculous.
It's more ridiculous than being a politician.
Well, I guess not. I mean, well, okay, you turn to me because the person that's doing that is ridiculous. That's dressing. I mean, because they know, like we said, they know what they're gonna do. It's gonna trigger people and just cause a fight.
Yeah, they're going through all that work to, like, basically ruin someone's good
Right.
time at a Halloween party. We're all here to have fun. And you're gonna come
Yeah.
trying with your political mumbo jumbo,
Okay.
ramming it down people's throats.
It's like they don't even care about Halloween at all.
Yeah,
So, political it is. Political is
worse.
more ridiculous.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sexy inanimate objects. So, sexy lamp.
Death Star.
Yeah.
Sexy Death Star. Sexy, you know, camera or, you know, whatever. Or sexy children's characters.
Oh,
So, taking Woody or any sort of Pixar character or Disney character or something dedicated specifically for children.
don't do that.
I'm not talking about, like, you know, like animation in general, because there's clearly an animation for adults like Simpsons and Family Guy and, you know, Solar Opposites and stuff like that you can do. You can be that. But I'm talking about, like, I don't know, Care Bears or
Elmo.
or
Yeah.
so. All right,
I was gonna say Tomb Raider, but I don't know if she's for children. Or Croft.
I don't think that one's for children.
Uh,
Yeah, sorry. So we've got the, you know, like a sexy lamp. So the sexy inanimate object, which is pretty ridiculous. Or sexy children's character.
that one's just kind of gross.
Items are pretty harmless, but like if you're trying to take like magic of someone's childhood and just defile it because you're an attention whore, then like, yeah, that's crossing a line. I mean, there's so many other sexy options. Why do you have to be like someone like sexy Woody? That's so.
Yeah, and this is not gender specific. It could
Right.
go, you know,
Right.
there could be, you know,
Fred and Daphne.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so which one are you voting?
Yeah, to children.
Okay,
That's just
all right.
ridiculous. Don't do that.
All
Sexy
right.
Dora the Explorer. Come on, Boots.
Yeah, that's what I was going with too. That was like one of the first things I wrote down when I started this list. So
Sexy
All right.
Dora is what you wrote down?
no, sexy children's characters, because that's it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean, it's also very, like, specific. Like, if you are at a very adult party, that's one thing. But in general, like, if I'm out walking around with my kids doing trick or treating, which I don't have kids, so I don't know why I said it that way. But if I had kids and I was out walking around doing trick or treating, and like one of the moms or one of the dads was dressed up, you know, in a overly sexy, like, Toy Story or Incredibles family costume, I'd be like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, what makes you think that when you're doing your costume, you're like, I'm going to be a sexy insert cartoon here? Like, why in your mind is that your first choice to do?
Well,
It's very strange.
they
Yeah.
weren't thinking.
Yeah, like,
They're just listening to their maniacal laughter.
I
in the
think
mirror.
I think they have more problems they got to figure out and seek therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Left shark.
Nice.
So this is more of the outdated internet meme idea, or sexy religious personnel. So you're talking sexy nun, sexy priest, sexy pope. What is more ridiculous, left shark or sexy religious personnel? Sexy Buddhist monk. Yeah.
I love Left Shark. I think I'd have to vote for the sexy religious people.
Yeah, because you're taking something that usually isn't, like
Right. Yeah.
sexy Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably more ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just like, even if you're not religious, it's just, come on. There's just, you just know. It's just don't touch that. It's like, leave it alone.
All right. Here's one that's
Politicians and religion.
Yeah.
Just keep them out of Halloween.
Yeah.
Here's one that's going to strike at the heart of Jeremy. The sexy horror icon.
Mm.
So, the femaleized version of Freddy or Jason, or some wearing a ridiculously skimpy outfit, trying to dress up like one of the horror icons,
Mm-hmm.
or the ethnic costume. So
Oh.
you're talking like mariachi, or some ridiculously cartooned version of like a pizza chef.
Chef Boyardee.
The French mime, like just some sort of some ethnic group that wouldn't necessarily, like, I'm not talking, because I'd already said we didn't include blackface, so I'm not putting that on the list. I'm talking like Native American,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. Like, all right, so what's more ridiculous, the sexy horror icon or the ethnic costumes?
Oh, the ethnic ones are more ridiculous, I
Really?
think.
I'm going to
Yeah.
say sexy horror icon.
You want to be a sexy horror icon, do it.
I
I'm
mean,
not going to think that's ridiculous.
Well, like, my caveat for this is the reason why most of them are just like, they're not even the people. It's like a hockey jersey that says Crystal Lake on it. It's like, what the fuck? It's not like Jason wears that. Like, if you're gonna be sexy Jason, just wear a jumpsuit that's like open a little bit and
Some
you know,
tears.
yeah, keep the mask on. We don't need to see your face.
Don't talk.
All right, so I think I'm going to go ethnic costumes as well. The sexy horror icon, seeing Freddy as a woman wearing, cleavage bearing is weird
Striped
and
sweater.
confusing. But I don't necessarily, I wouldn't want to see it, but I think it'd be less ridiculous than, a bunch of people dressed up like, Chef Boyardee.
Right, like, is that another one where you're just doing it to try to offend people?
Or you're just that dumb. All right. Man in trench coat
Okay.
or an emoji.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know where to go with this one.
Emoji costume is it makes for a great meme. I saw one with like a guy wearing it was just like a fabric, and it was like one of the crying emojis, and like it just looked horrifying, and it was like, get me out of this hell or whatever. And then there's some others that I've seen that are ridiculous, but like I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm having a struggle with this one.
I think the emoji is more ridiculous because at least like if in the right situation, you could be like, I'm a spy instead of like, I'm a flasher. The man in trench coat could be offensive,
Mm-hmm.
but like there's an out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
If you're dressed up like an emoji, you're just
An emoji.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're putting in the work to look like an emoji, so that might be a little more ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a weird one to try to figure out.
All right, then this one's gonna take a little explaining. And I think it was actually already brought up, but the one night stand.
Mhm.
So you dress up like a nightstand, and you just like write the number 1 on it, or something along those lines. That's one of the ones that was specifically requested to be on the list. You could have that fall into the sexy inanimate object costume, or the pun-based costume, but or super lazy versions of costumes. So like, you want to dress up like Iron Man, but you don't want to spend a little money on buying like even the Walmart version of Iron Man. So you just put like a red sweater on, and like maybe you put some like gold lines around it, or like just you know, it is not like a money thing. Like I'm not like bagging on you because like you don't got money to go buy a costume, but like like you're just super lazy.
Is it worse than the guy that gets the costume that says like this is not a costume? Is it like this sort of same kind of deal?
Same vibe.
Yeah.
I think that one might be.
So the super lazy.
Yeah, like a little more.
Is this because you do appreciate the
I
pun
love
based?
puns.
Okay,
I'm a
all
big
right.
pun person.
I'll go one night stand to make it interesting.
I'm gonna go super lazy because I do think the pun costumes are probably not good, but super.
If you're gonna be super lazy, just don't dress up.
Right, yeah,
That's true.
now, commit to being super lazy.
Yeah.
All right, and for our last matchup of the first round, kind of a weird matchup, but you'll see why in a second. You can be the inflatable penis or a tampon.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That was gonna be so easy until you said the second thing. Oh man.
So which is more ridiculous? Because they're both very ridiculous.
They are.
Yeah.
The inflatable penis or a tampon.
And by the way, I just defended the bad costumes really a lot last round because I've been guilty of that a lot.
Of bad
In the past.
costumes?
Yeah, lazy bad costumes.
Well,
like,
I do a lot of lazy ones too, but I mean that's the only way they know they'll get me to dress up is if it's something that's like easy because I'm not going above and beyond.
I mean, I think I remember in Florida when it was when I was an adult, like we were doing like a Halloween like pub crawl kind of thing, and they were like, oh, we gotta dress up, and like they all dressed up, and I threw on my hockey jersey, and I was like, I think I maybe put a piece of paper on that said on strike because the hockey players were on strike at the time. So I'm also guilty of being the super lazy costume.
But this round,
Yes,
This round.
yes.
So back to our, what is more ridiculous, the inflatable penis or a tampon?
I think the tampon's just slightly more ridiculous.
yeah, I probably would have to agree.
All right.
I think yeah.
I'm not sure how I would vote for this one because I think they're both ridiculous. I think again it's situation specific with the penis. Like if I'm at an adult Halloween party where like I know there's no children around, whatever. I'm just gonna be like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
The other one, I think, regardless of where I'm at, I'm gonna be like, get out. So I guess I'd go tampon.
Yeah, it's kind of like you said, like if you're trick or treating and you see them walking,
Yeah.
like you got to you're walking trick or treating, let's say with your small children, and you got to go left and past the person with dressed as a tampon, or right past the person as an inflatable penis. Which way you turning?
We're doing a 360.
I'm just digging down.
All right, kids, we're done for the day. I will go to Walmart and buy you multiple bags of candy.
I will go there the day after Halloween and buy them 50% off.
All right, so now we're back up to the top of the list. Kind of interesting matchup for our second round. The condom or the skelebaner?
Yeah, you just put them together. Practice safe.
Yeah.
Be
And
prepared.
I would recommend, for those of you listening, look up, well, I don't know how you're going to want to do it. Maybe probably not look these costumes up at work if you're listening on the job. But if you're not, like you're at home, just type in condom Halloween costume. See the options that are out there. See how ridiculous they are. Or type in skelebaner, like that actual word, and see that somebody sold it as a costume.
Jeremy, you doing research?
Yeah, I want to see the skelebaner.
Yeah, let me know when you get that. But between the two,
It's so stupid.
is it?
Look at this. It's exactly what you would expect.
Yes, I mean, it's exactly what you would expect it to be.
That is a dangerous looking skelebaner.
I've seen a couple other versions of it, so it's not just like the one.
Well, that dangling skelebaner. It would just get annoying. I feel like I would get caught on stuff all the time throughout the night.
I think that one's got to be more ridiculous.
All right, the Skelebaner is more ridiculous than the
Where's
condom.
a condom costume.
Oh,
I just
boy.
want to see one.
Yeah, we're
Just to
doing
be sure.
some research here on the fly. Nicholas didn't present us with pictures.
There's a captain condom. there's
Okay,
a superhero
all right,
condom.
yeah, that's
And then there's like a
That's
full
pretty-
size.
yeah, that's the one though. That's the one that I'm picturing. So like basically like it's just a human-sized condom. So very much like the Naked Gun version.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like something like that versus the Salvador, I'm voting for the condom.
Yeah,
That's so stupid.
that one's more ridiculous.
Okay, so
I was just picturing someone wearing like a wrapper, but yeah, if you go with that with the full, that's more ridiculous.
okay, so we're moving the condom on to the next round then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Condoms, what
That's more ridiculous.
All right, so now we are going to be going with the not a costume guy or the breathalyzer guy. Who is more annoying / ridiculous? The guy who thinks it's really funny to put a tube on his dick and do blow, or the guy who's just like, I'm not wearing a costume.
I'm gonna go with the breathalyzer guy.
Breathalyzer guy?
Yeah, I think he'd be more annoying,
All right.
especially if he gets a couple drinks in him.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so the breathalyzer guy is moving on.
Yeah.
All right, now we're to the adult baby or food.
Don't use real food, but I still think the adult babies
Adult baby is worse?
more
Okay.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like why?
They need to be put on like a watch list.
Yeah.
These are the same people who are really obsessed with the children's groups on America's Got Talent.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. All right, so now we're a toilet or the zombie dead celebrity. And we've narrowed it down to more of like the zombie recent dead celebrity.
Yeah. The toilet, I bet I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple toilets this year, because isn't there like a popular toilet thing on with like Gen Z?
You're talking to the wrong guy.
I'm gonna sound so old when I say this, but like Skibbity toilet. They sell them at Walmart now.
I don't know what that is.
Well, I might not even have said it right, but it's this like thing that's on the internet that is popular now. So I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw a toilet this year. Is
Okay.
my point.
Well,
But
that doesn't make it not
no,
ridiculous.
it doesn't. It makes it's still ridiculous for sure. I mean, yeah.
I personally think the toilet is probably more ridiculous than a dead celebrity.
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if they do the dead celebrity right, like they go with the makeup and everything, where it's could look pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, still might not be the best idea, but it's better than a toilet.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so now we're to a very interesting matchup of the 420 related costume
Okay.
or the political costume. Which I mean, you
Kind of go hand in hand.
you could argue that one is both, you know.
Yeah.
So what would you rather see come, or what is more likely to get your ire up if you see them come into your house? One of the two idiots currently running for president, or somebody dressed up like a pot leaf?
Political.
Political.
At least the stoner guy's a lot more harmless. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not going to debate with him. He's just going to pass
Just
out
give
on
him
the
an
couch.
just give him an extra piece of candy
All right.
or two,
Yeah.
and
Ooh, the battle of two things that should not exist. Sexy children's characters. So good old sexy Woody, or the sexy religious personnel,
Oh,
the
man.
sexy Pope.
I kind of feel like children's characters are worse.
All right.
I don't know what you guys feel.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, because there's some things, if you're clever enough, you could. I mean, it still wouldn't be great, but the religious stuff is like, yeah.
I mean,
you can
yeah,
pull
I
it
mean,
off.
I don't want to see either, but I think the sexy children's character is worse.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What about like sexy Count Chocula? What would that do for you, Jeremy?
Well, he's already sexy, but
Ah.
that'd be great.
All right.
Yeah.
The ethnic costume or an emoji.
I feel like I almost have to vote for the ethnic one just so like I not like
Okay.
run out on the whatever. But I don't think like all ethnic costumes are that bad.
Well,
Like,
all right.
Chef Boyardee, really? Like, who's got a problem with that?
All right. Well, Chef Boyardee was probably a bad example because like that's like a brand mascot. I was more thinking of like dressing up like one of the things I saw was like the super stereotypical like cliche cartoon like French guy wearing like the black and white striped shirt with the beret,
Yeah.
like holding a baguette,
Yeah.
or the guy dressing up like a mariachi,
Yeah.
or dressing up
Yeah.
like what a stereotypical like Pacific Islander would be, or
Yeah.
the Native American.
That's
you
true. Yeah, that's those are.
know. Or
yeah.
an emoji.
Yeah. Oh man.
Now again, it also probably depends on the race of the person dressing up in the costume.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still like how cliche or how far can you push the line before you're just like, oh, get out.
All right,
I don't know where to go on
ethnic
this.
costume, but
Ethnic.
some of the
Okay.
people wearing ethnic costumes probably are pretty fun at those parties.
All right. I think I know how I'm going to vote for this one. It doesn't make me happy about it, but the super lazy costume. So the guy who put on a hockey sweater that he had and said he was a hockey player, or the tampon.
Oh God. Tampon.
Tampon.
Yeah, that's how I was going with that one. All right. Now we are not saying that doesn't mean that these costumes aren't ridiculous. This is just what we think is slightly more ridiculous. So the condom
Oh boy.
or the breathalyzer.
I think the condom's more ridiculous.
Yeah, I think
All
so
right.
too.
I mean, the breathalyzer, yeah, it's ridiculous. You might put a little more work into it, but the condom's more ridiculous, especially the full body one.
The adult baby
Oh, gross.
or a toilet.
Oh man. I just have such a problem with the adult baby. I'm gonna have to keep voting for
Yeah,
the
adult baby.
Yeah. I'd rather see someone walking around as a toilet than an adult baby.
I
All
would
right.
actually like to see that. Like, what is that? You've seen toilet costumes,
I've seen pictures of them.
and they're like full on toilets.
Some of them are full on toilets. Some of them are just like a toilet seat, like
Okay.
around your neck. Some of them are way more involved, and you're like, wow, I can't believe you were dumb enough to spend money on that.
Yeah.
Like either making it yourself or buying it, but but I do think like the adult, like I'm thinking of like the Daniel Tosh segment when he put on that creepy baby head,
Yeah.
and, like ran around but like not as a funny thing that he did, but even that was creepy.
Yeah.
But like dressing up like the adult baby, like that is just yeah. All right, political or sexy children's characters.
Uh-oh.
So you got a troop of Care Bears coming your way where you're dressed in outfits that they shouldn't be wearing, or a bunch of people who are currently running for office. Which one is more ridiculous?
Political is probably more ridiculous.
Yeah, I think so too.
At least they're not sexy political.
It could be.
Ugh.
I didn't specify because I saw some versions of that, and I'm just like, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah. I think I'd rather see a sexy children's character coming up to my house than someone trying to get my vote.
All right. All right. Now we're to the ethnic costume or the tampon.
Tampon.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree.
I would
That's
agree,
More ridiculous.
Because as you pointed out, there are some ethnic costumes that might actually be okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any situation where the tampon is appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, what was it? There's someone who's like Native American dressed as like a chief or something. Like,
Right.
That would be okay. You come walking up as a tampon. That's
Now
still
we're
not okay.
now we're to a very weird final four. We have a condom versus adult baby.
Those two words should never be uttered in the same sentence.
So not exactly how I saw that going, and I never envisioned that being the opponent against each other. Kind of a weird matchup, condoms versus adult babies. And then we've got political versus tampon.
Ugh.
Okay. Quite an array of things.
All right, so let's tackle our condom versus adult baby.
They both suck.
Yeah.
I personally am going to go adult baby just because it's creepy and there's a whole realm of like weirdness that goes with it, not just like a bad choice of a costume that you thought was funny.
That's fair. Let's see. Condoms are ridiculous. Hate them. Don't use them. The baby though, I mean that's just
Hate them. Don't
use them. Ridiculous. Baby, and then like you said, that's a whole new realm. It's another seedy realm of like, yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree. Like,
Okay.
to go out of your way to be like, I'm gonna dress like a big baby. Like, otherwise, it's some probably just frat guy being like, oh, I'm gonna be a condom.
Right. There's a fair amount of alcohol that went into making that choice. Either way.
Lost a bet.
All right, so now we've got the political side of things. You're dressing up like I said, one of the two current fucking morons that are running for office. Or a tampon.
I'd rather vote for the tampon if we were voting.
I
mean,
vote.
for politically speaking.
Right. Feel like they'd get more done.
Tampon versus politics. Jeez, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to see either at my door.
No.
But I think that the political one, especially in today's environment, you're risking like actual fights.
Mm-hmm. That's true. The tampon is probably too brain dead to even like debate with you about anything.
Yeah. So I kind of lean towards the political one being the more ridiculous costume.
Yeah. Okay.
And that doesn't mean that the tampon isn't completely ridiculous.
Right. It's just slightly less.
Yeah. Less likely to try to argue with you and try to persuade you into something.
All right, so we're going political?
Yeah.
All right, and then you can make an argument that we're actually talking about the same thing here. Adult babies.
And politicians.
Man, I didn't know I'd be able to make that joke, but here I am. What is more ridiculous? As much as I don't want to see, one of the two people running for president right now at my door, I'd rather see that than a guy or a girl dressed up like an adult baby. I personally think adult babies are the most ridiculous potential costume. Not what I had in mind when I wrote this bracket out, but now that we're here, that's my take on it.
Okay. What do you think?
I'm probably going to have to agree. Adult babies, just like, why? It's creepy. Why are you doing that? Go seek help. Just don't dress up like a giant baby.
Yeah. Clean sweep for the adult baby.
All right, the adult baby. All right, so in our opinion, adult baby is the most potentially ridiculous costume that you could wear. Now, if you have decided on one of these 32 things for your Halloween party, now remind you, this is what I said, it was the 28th? Yeah, the 28th. You've got a couple days to save yourself before you go down the path.
Yeah, it's not too late.
Listen to this episode and go, oh man, I was going to dress up like one of those. It's not too late. You can change. Because none of these are that great of an idea. Now, some of them are maybe a little better. Like, you could have some really creative pun-based costumes.
Good.
There are some in here that, depending on how you do it, could actually be fun. But most of them they're going to fall flat. And you're not going to get the reaction that you think you're going to get.
Unless you're going political, then you're going to get the reaction you think you're going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, All right. So adult baby is definitely the worst option you could go with. And don't try to cross streams here and do adult baby with some of the other potential options that you've got there. Because that just gets really weird and gross, and you should be arrested.
Yeah.
So, all right. Anybody watch anything the last week that you want to bring up?
Well, I was gonna ask with your costumes, like you didn't put, like where'd you put furries on there?
Who?
Like a furry?
A furry?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't think of them as a Halloween costume because they are people who like to live a particular lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, like, if you're just dressing up like an animal for Halloween and it's not like a furry thing, then yeah, fine, whatever. But like, if you're doing it like in May because you have some sort of weird,
So if you dress up like a furry normally and you do it for Halloween, that's just a lazy costume.
yes,
Yeah.
Got
That's
it.
just what you are.
Yeah.
You'd have to put a costume over the furry costume.
Sexy furry.
Yeah.
yeah, that's gross. and if you've been listening to us long enough, either I don't remember. I know we've brought it up on PCR. I know Media Pod Smash has definitely brought it up. The whole furry thing is pretty disgusting to us anyway. Like we don't get it.
Yeah, it's just
We
weird.
we don't appreciate being forced that content on us on Reddit or Twitter. But you know,
Yeah.
I don't understand why there are certain groups of people who are obsessed with it. But yeah, so any costumes that we've never talked about that maybe you wore at a Halloween party that might be nominated on this list, or
Just lazy ones.
just
Yeah.
yeah. And like you said, probably guilty of a couple of these. Definitely the lazy one.
What about like dressing as the opposite sex?
I left that one off the list because that's kind of a hot button one.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, it's not something that we can't. I don't know because I don't know how to feel about it because it's one of those like if you're doing it as a costume, it could be you're just doing it for a day.
Yeah.
You're not making a political statement.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily see a problem with it. I do know that is potentially problematic,
Yeah.
and I definitely get it. So it's you have to handle it very delicately.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
it might be best to just not do it.
Right. Yeah.
There are ways to do it where you're not offensive,
Yeah.
but it's walking a very fine line.
Yeah. That's fair. Okay. I mean, I would agree. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
I mean, because like I said, like when I was typing in like Google or wherever, multiple like costumes you should never wear or bad costumes, like one of the first ones that always showed up was like Hitler. Well, of course, like I shouldn't have to read a list on the internet to be like,
Scratch that from the
I
list.
didn't know I shouldn't do that.
What about sexy Hitler?
Oh.
That is probably worse.
Yeah. I think you've really covered them all basically. I mean, I can't think of any more.
And like I said, I know that some of them probably could have been combined, but I had to stretch it out.
Yeah, like a shish kebab and food.
Yeah, like there were a few where I was like, once I got to a certain number, I was like, well, now I got to get it to like 32. All right, well, I'm going to add this one to the list, even though I kind of technically already had it on the list, like one night stand in sexy inanimate object, or one night stand in pun-based costume.
I enjoy a good pun.
So, I mean, I feel like we've mined what we've worn as Halloween costumes for
Yeah.
many years now.
Yeah. That's true.
So, all right. I guess that leads us to our final question. And has anybody watched anything worth talking about in the last week?
Worth talking about? No.
Oh, okay.
I watched 2 episodes of that Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix.
Okay.
So far, it's pretty interesting. A lot of it was recorded before all the allegations came out against him.
So
it's a lot of stuff before that, and so I think it might lead into that, but I'm not sure.
So it's kind of like pro McMahon at the beginning, or
Not really. It talks
okay.
about his, like the beginning is how he bought the company from his dad, and they all expected him to fail. And then how he would just go over and like steal other people's talent and all that stuff, and how he didn't really care how he made his money and all that stuff. So it makes him seem kind of like a dick, which, as we know, is facts. Yeah.
All right. I don't have much. I watched more of the baking stuff, the more recent stuff. Because what's that guy's name?
John Henson?
John Henson. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I watched that too.
Yeah.
Watched some of those. AMC's just been killing it this year. Like the Fear Fest marathon has been going on since the start of the month, which is awesome. Because in years past, they used to like wait till like the second to last week in October, and it's like, come on, guys, it's almost over. So good stuff there, and like they've been doing themed weeks. Like say they had one where it was like all Final Destination movies, and they did like a slasher one. And so it's been awesome background noise. I mean, a lot of these films we've all seen, but there's something about watching a movie with even with the ads, just having it on as background noise in this month that like really does it for me. So got to go with that for mine.
I rewatched Ernest Scared Stupid last night.
Good choice.
It's fun. It's not as good as some of the other Ernest movies, but it's still it's fun.
Yeah.
I watched that. It's on Amazon, The Killer Cakes, the one that Matthew Lillard hosts. You can tell it's the first season because there was definitely a lot of trial and error, and it was only 2 episodes. So I think if they're going to continue, I think they're going to have to kind of figure out some of the problems that they had. But overall, I mean, it's baking, and it's not as much baking as it is like figuring out how to make cake into something that is like. Because, like, I do really like the Halloween Baking Championship, but, like, they don't really get, like, scary.
Mm-hmm.
Where, like, these ones had, like, guys, like, somebody made a cake that looked like a guy in an electric chair that, like, had sparks and, like, spurted blood.
That's cool.
Yeah, so, like, it's a little bit more 3D effect and a lot more. Cause, I mean, I think Blumhouse produced it, so, like, you know, there was definitely a little bit more attached to it than, like, Food Network tends to be more about, like, actually making cake that tastes good.
Right.
Yeah.
These guys were not as focused on that as they were like making cake look creepy and disgusting. So, I mean, it was still worthwhile. Matthew Lillard sells it because, I mean, he was having a ball. You could tell he was having just a ball doing the show.
I think I'd rather my food taste good
Yeah.
than look creepy and scary, though.
Yeah. And some of it's like, look at what I did. Like, even if that is the most amazing thing I've ever tasted, I don't know if I want to put that in my mouth. Just because of the way you made it look. So, all right. If you have chosen to live your life where you want to dress as an adult baby or have decided to do it as a Halloween costume, just remember, stupid never walks alone.
Comic books have been around for almost a century, and in the last 2 decades, we've finally gotten to see many of these characters brought to life in movies and on TV. On the Moving Panels podcast, we discuss movies and TV shows based on, inspired by, and adapted from the world of comic books. Join me and my guests as we discuss both the good and the bad from Marvel, DC, and even some of the lesser-known comic book companies. Learn what is and isn't from the comics, as well as our nerdy review of the movie or show. New episodes drop every Monday, and you can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. So join us for Moving Panels, and I'll see you on the other side of the page.
Life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and listen to an 80s Flick Flashback podcast once in a while, you could miss it. Do you love movies of a certain age? Do you miss the days of VHS tapes, VCRs, and the video rental stores? Does the thought of another 80s movie being remade seem inconceivable? My name is Tim Williams. I'm the creator and host of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. On each episode, I'm joined by guest co-hosts to discuss one of the many movies released in the 1980s. We share our first-time watch memories, our favorite scenes, and even learn some behind-the-scenes stories about the cast and crew along the way. New episodes are released every other Friday on your favorite podcasting platform. So make like a tree, get out of here, and go listen to an excellent episode of the 80s Flick Flashback podcast. The ad is over. Go home. Go.